Hey, Screamer. How was your Thanksgiving?
System test 25.5 now. This time I'm doing code 3, vibrating. So, yeah, let's use the pulse station. Somebody here.
The same video where he had that talking about whether the mailman was outside.
There. I'm silenced. Reset the pull. And the panel. There. System test 29.5.
Stupid short. Okay. Don't you hate it when Chromebook tabs just auto refresh? Man, I love this intro. It's too bad that this is like homemade on GarageBand. Like this is a banger. Also, that website is long dead.
Alright, system test 28. That took too long. It wasn't as long as other system tests though, but this one was only a month and a half. I got delayed by so many things, but the delays are done now. So I've got the same panel, the 8005. 425120 pulse station, which keeps coming in this room. And my Simplex 4050, the 24 volt one that I converted from a 4051 on a 405080 light plate and mounted on my Space Age Electronics AB32 back box because I don't have the actual back box for the 405080.
I don't know if those back boxes work, you know. Because the Simplex 2903 mounting box just has two screws at the top and bottom that mount directly to the plate. Stupid Google search thing. So that makes me wonder if the AV32 box just mounts to the horn or if the 40, 50, 80 and the AV32 have the same mount. So now I'm curious. I want to see what the inside of this looks like. I'm genuinely curious. I guess that's what this looks like. There's no way that's an AV32 back box. I don't know what the actual one is. Blue AV32. Weird. If that's it, then that's an odd box, but I guess the 40, 50, 80 mounts to it.
And the Genesis remote strobe, or horn strobe that's been converted to a remote strobe. So we've got this little thing here in a relay, because the 4050 is 24 volts AC, so I had to use a relay. I've also got this new, it's my uniform. I've also got this new white box in the closet.
This was 13 years ago, guys. Crazy. Hello, hello, hello.
To the same smoke detector in the den, or not the tail.
I'm watching some older New Age server alarm videos. These are like some of his most popular ones. System test videos.
And Wheelock LS1M-24 remote strobe on a wire bolt box.
This is like the channel that got me into fire alarms, even though I don't post a lot of fire alarm content. I still have... I honestly just don't have mental space or time for fire alarm stuff, but I still have an appreciation for them, and I love watching these videos. These are my favorite of any fire alarm videos on YouTube.
My simplex chevron pull station, local alarm one, my annunciator, junction box, and an AC to DC rectifier that's kind of a mess with a relay attached because I didn't have any AC relays.
Oh, that's why.
I have to do that is because I'll show you in a moment. I've got my Faraday, I think it's 101.2.
Okay, side note, nothing related to the Faraday. What's the difference between relay? Because I get DC relays, it's like a solenoid that closes a switch. But how does an AC relay work? Like, does it have a capacitor across it to keep it closed or something? I don't know how that works. Anyways.
23-1 or something like that. Arrow handle pull station. And I removed the stopper because it's rather...
It's the only time I've ever heard a Faraday be called an arrow handle pull station like that.
For a remote strobe in the shop...
Cool pull stations, though.
I have a Federal Signal remote strobe right here. An iStrobe, an ADA iStrobe that's angled downward. 40/75 candela. It's actually 40 candela for whatever reason.
It's so odd. Just goofy.
System sensor smoke. And another remote strobe right here. Only this one's mounted onto a horn plate, but there's no horn in it. It's just another remote strobe. This one's 110 candela and it flashes really slow.
It's because they're 20 flashes per minute
and another
instead of
system
60.
sensor smoke detector. I'm gonna grab this key over here. So I'm gonna need it.
Fate True Alert and Wheelock NS.
And then find the pocket on my shirt. There it is. Alright. And I've got, and the reason why I have this horn, or this relay, is because the horn I chose for the basement is 12 volts AC, while the rest of the horns are 24 volts AC. So, what did I pick for a basement horn?
Oh, now I get it. Now I get the whole setup.
I picked a Simplex 4030. This thing is loud. And it also...
Wait a second. So the panel outputs 24 volts DC, and then he has that 24 volts DC going into a relay, which is being supplied with the 24 volts AC from the transformer in his closet, which is powering the 4050, powering the just the 4050, and then that 24 volts AC from that relay is going into the rectifier to go to the other relay, which is supplying 12 volts AC to the base of the horn from the transformer, which is plugged into an outlet. That's a setup. just now realizing how complicated this is. That is so system test series to rig something together. Yeah, I'm on vacation for Thanksgiving. I'm visiting family. Yeah, that's why I'm in Ohio. No, not just for the joke.
Rumbles the floor, so you can hear it upstairs going through the house. It's pretty freaking crazy. So it runs a 12 volts AC, and I got this wire going this way. It's running to an outlet, and it's supplying 120 volts to the base of the horn, where I have a small transformer that steps it down to 12 volts.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna lie, my family might walk in, so if that happens, I'm gonna mute my mic.
It's raining today. Whoa! And the deck is slippery. Whoa. Gotta be careful now.
Freezing rain, yeah.
That was a close.
I don't know what camera this was filmed on. This was 13 years ago.
And a 31T 115 with a wheel-lock light attached to light, not a strobe. I'll come back out here.
Oh, jeez, December 2011. That's ridiculous.
Alright. Okay, I'll get the de-icer later.
This was when New Age Server Alarm was in its prime.
That's what happens when it rains on a cold day. You get ice on the deck. Whoa.
Soon? What do you mean?
Okay. Not coming out here much. Okay, so I have it set on March time, so let's pull the fire alarm.
At the end of the video, it suddenly... At the end of the video, it shows a blooper where one of the strobes doesn't go off. I think. Was that a jump cut? I didn't actually pay attention.
So, I have it set on March time, so let's pull the fire alarm.
Yeah, it does jump cut. Another side note, that's a ridiculous sounding 4030. For some reason, every single 4030 I've ever heard on YouTube besides that one just sounds like a normal AC horn with a projector stuck on it. But this one sounds so weird. It's like it's so raspy. And I understand that there's a bunch of different mechanisms that 4030s can use. Or like whether it's a -1 or a -1B. Apparently there's a different mechanism in there, but I don't know what the model of this one is. And frankly, I don't care. Because it's late. All I do know is that it sounds awesome, and I want it.
Listen to that thing. Wow.
Also, I love the slow fade out on the light for the 4050.
Yeah. I didn't think it even needed this 4050 here, now that I think about it.
Just makes it extra loud, especially in his room.
Right about here, that's about where it is. That thing is so loud, I don't even think I need this 4050 in my room. Jeez, criminals.
Way to keep it family friendly, Andrew.
Didn't reset the poll, did I? Wow.
See, now I immediately want to skip to the part where it does 90 beat march time. Ironically, that's the most viewed part of the... Oh, the most viewed part of the video is when he puts the bottle on the floor to watch it rumble around on continuous. Alright, here we go. 90 beats per minute.
made the 40-30 burp.
Simple humor. I love it.
Whatever that means. There we go. Now I'm going to do the crazy code.
Yeah, you mean continuous? What? Why are there so many shorts? Why? There's some good recommendations after this. I just cleared my watch history because I want to, and so now I'm immediately getting a bunch of fire alarm video recommendations, which I never get because I watch so much siren content on my home account that I never get any fire alarm videos. Rate your 100 subscriber special idea. Oh, jeez, I don't remember what it was. Oh, was it the earlobes thing that I read in disbelief? I mean, really? Like, I don't know how to react to that. Question mark out of 10. That's how I rate that.
Only I'm going to use the game wheel century. I'm going to do continuous in a moment. Alright. But continuous is going to be short. Because it's so...
It was the top comment they asked for it. Oh, jeez.
60 hertz, continuous, and loud. For whatever reason, it scares me. I don't like it.
Wait, also, didn't you, like, never show your face on camera yet because you just screen record your VR? Like, that's... I haven't seen any, like, video where you, like, synced a camera to the game and then you had it like a picture-in-picture kind of thing. So I don't know how anyone would see your apparently very masculine earlobes. I have very masculine earlobes. Those don't count. Okay. I don't know what that means, and frankly, I'm too tired to care.
Alright. Oops, I have a bug in the panel code. There we go.
Oh, that's fun. I tried coding one of these panels myself in Tinkercad. It was a disaster.
And I grabbed a soda bottle because I want to see something. I've got a little curiosity here. I'm going to put it on the floor and see if it runs around.
Ooh. That delay is just something else. The video really doesn't do it justice how loud that probably was. Jump cut. Didn't notice that before.
Holy crap. Alright, I'm calling it. This is the loudest and craziest system I have ever done. And I just heard the mailman. I bet he's wondering what the hell is going on in here.
That's what my family's like whenever I'm doing crap.
Mailman. What if he is wondering what's going on? Because he's hearing these loud sounds coming from inside this house. Alright. There. Put that back on march time so that if it goes off, it doesn't scare the hell out of me. It's continuous. And I think that's it for my crazy system. Oops, better back up a little more. Crazy system.
Alright, I'm trying a poll. That just popped up. Here we go. Here's that blooper.
piece of crap.
That's a that's a blooper. Can I get rid of this pole, or is this just stuck on the screen now? I'm just screwing with stuff. Is this just... Okay, you know what? No. Let's get rid of this. I don't care about people's favorite type of pickle. Bread and butter is my favorite. Now you know. I haven't seen Frosted Strobe's videos in forever. Let's watch one of these. He's like the other OG fire alarm channel. And I know like Charlie Davidson and a couple other people would be more considered one of the OG, or like DSDX, but I think this is probably like my second favorite. And I have to set it on stupid 480p if I want it to load.
Hello everyone, it's time for system test number 28. Finally time for 28. And you can tell because it's been a while since I actually said I would make the video, because apparently I have a tendency to not work well with time frames. Anyway, as you can see, we're starting off in front of the panel here. Everything is pretty much the same with the panel. The only difference really, there's some new wires coming out of the panel, and you'll see what those are for later. You can also see that the panel is mounted on a giant piece of particle board. This was horrible to fit in my car, by the way. And everything looks a lot cleaner. The wires all go behind it, so they're not exposed, and the forbidden spaghetti isn't everywhere. And Lowe's also didn't cut this straight, but I didn't notice that until after I set it up here. But it's fine. So next to the panel we have the Gamewell M46-28, the Sentry station. And then above that, for the strobe, I have a Simplex True Alert. I moved the True Alert from the bedroom to down here now. That's the 4904-9332. And that's a SmartSync strobe. And then for the horn, it used to be up there. It's now over here, sitting above a back box that is just kind of empty. And the reason that's there is because that's where the strobe would have gone, but I changed my mind. And that's the horn. That's actually a Simplex 4050. And yes, it is a 4050. I'm actually doing an AC horn on the system. And that's a 12 volt AC model 4050. And next to the horn, this is so cool. Next to the 4050, I have this. I have a big old red light. The glass on that actually used to be clear, but I used this method I found on a YouTube channel that of course I'll link in the description, but you can use it to dye glass, apparently. Even though you could buy red covers for these for like, I don't know, $14, but we're just gonna ignore that. And that's all connected to a relay because that light runs off of 120 volts AC, and that relay is connected to the sync/lights circuit on the panel. And it's all, the light is actually just plugged in down here. But yeah, you'll see that flashing with the system when it's going off. It's very cool, kind of trippy. Moving on now to the back door slash garage here. I have next to the stairs the vintage B&G 1R. And I don't know about you, but I feel like this fits in really well with the stairs here. I don't know what it is. It's just got that kind of an industrial vibe, I guess. And then for the horn, next to the garage and the strobe, I have the Simplex 4904-9174 strobe, and that's set to SmartSync, so it's going to sync with the True Alert that's over there. And then I have another 4050, also a 12 volt model, and then I have another red light, but this one is actually different because this is a cluster of LEDs, and the cover for it is actually a frosted white, so it's like translucent, and the dye on it or the red coloring at least came out a little bit differently, so we'll see if that shows up on video. And then that's the same story, it's just connected to a relay. And then I also have the 2400, but it's not working at the moment, and I'll explain that later. Getting up the stairs. I still have that light there, and unlike all the other lights, well, the thing about this light is that it actually came with 120 volts AC bulb.
Wait a second.
I still have that light there, and unlike all the other lights, well, the thing about this light is that
face reveal. Anyways.
Is that it actually came with 120 volts AC bulbs, but I don't have those in it at the moment. I just have the 24 volt bulb in it. By the back door, I still have this T-bar, and then above that, I have a Federal Signal strobe with the with another 4050 next to it, and yeah, and then there's also another red light, and that's just a normal red light. All the incandescent lights have 60-watt bulbs in them.
So it's basically just a system of 4050s.
The bedroom, which is a lot cleaner now.
Yay.
In the bedroom, I have the RSG RMS1T. It's rebranded by GE. And then above that, I have the Gentex GXS. This is the, I think this is a second generation GXS.
It's a first gen.
It actually sounds really cool when the strobe is charging. I'll have to show that to you guys at some point here. And in the office, I have the other
Feet Recom 1650.
And then above that, I have a Pyrotronics remote strobe. I love these things. They're so cute. Just look at how cute it is. Very small.
Just an LSM.
And then we move on to by the front door.
LS1M technically.
Still have the BG12, NBG12.
Nice.
It's an NBG12. Keep the angry comments. And then above it, I have yet another 4050.
What do you have, dude?
Gentex Commander 3 remote strobe set to 15 candela. And then I have another light, but this one's different because it retains the clear glass like globe, but the actual light bulb itself is the red part. So that'll look a little bit different.
Interesting.
So that's the system.
Everything's 4050s.
Just get this show on the road here. And when I pull this down, you're going to notice something about it. And this is something, this is the last big surprise.
Guys, Screamer is back.
This is something that I have worked for several years to actually accomplish, so I'm very proud of it. Here we go. It's in code 4.4. Isn't that so exciting?
Those horns don't sound too good.
I actually managed to get 4.4 working on my panel.
Making another 8-port siren.
Of course it's out of focus, but you know, there's that strobe.
The second set of 4 pulses sounds longer. Like each pulse is longer. That's how a 4050 should sound.
And then I'll try to get a view of the strobes in SmartSync here too, but that might be a little different. I don't think anyone's ever actually done strobes that flash in 4:4 before. After saying that 5 times fast.
Strobes that flash in 4:4 before. Strobes that... Well, that is hard. Strobes that flash in 4:4 before. Strobes that flash in 4:4 before. Wow.
Oh, it's that. So, how did I get code 4:4 to work on my panel?
Coding wheel.
Well, I'll show you. Here's where the magic happens right here. Take a look at this. What this is a code 4:4 code wheel. I know, I actually found a 4:4 code wheel. How cool is that?
3D print one.
And it's basically just sandwiched up against the switch so that the notches push the switch. And then it's attached to a little motor. And that motor is actually the part that I bought from China.
Yeah.
And in a typical me fashion, this is all built on a standard blank wall. Eventually I'll get the proper wood to actually build that at some point. And this is of course the only bug with the panel so far. If it actually stops while the notch is pressing the button down, the alarm LED will be stuck on, but we can just fix that. So now let's pull the Sentry.
That's a very homemade system right there.
Reset that. Where is it? There it is.
I love how his pull station still has the stuff on the inside.
Let's go ahead and we will put it in March time. And then I'm going to go pull the Vintage B in G1R. This sounds really satisfying because it makes a big thud. Listen to this.
That's real.
It's the world's strongest spring.
Okay, that red light looks awesome. Working on a game about sirens fighting. It's multiplayer and uses no AI. Really? Is this like TSM based? Like sirens as living characters? That sounds interesting. I have to admit, I'm not sure I'm a fan of the whole like sirens as living characters idea, like which TSM is entirely based off of. I mean, people can make whatever they want. It's just not my cup of tea, but it sounds interesting nonetheless. Doesn't use TSM characters. All right. I just meant kind of the same idea. You see, that 4050 just sounds weird. Sounds more like some sort of buzzer than a mechanical horn. And that one just doesn't sound like it's screwed in all the way. You hear that? It's like changing tone every beat. Yeah, you even pointed it out in the video. It's like ah. I'm sure he has the volume screws tightened like all the way down.
I love the way that sounds in March time. March time will always be my favorite.
It'll always
So
be
now let's do
everyone's
code
favorite.
3, and I will go outside, but I will keep my time outside brief because it's actually really cold outside and it's also dark.
This is January 2023, huh? Excuse me. Oh. Yeah, typical like fire alarm kitty stuff. I know they're siren kitties, but this is like fire alarm kitties who own the stupid Amazon Spectral Alert. That's okay. That's probably a rude That's a rude stereotype. I shouldn't say that, but like, seriously. It's people being creative. I can't punish that, or not even that I have the ability to. What am I talking about?
We'll keep that brief, but we'll go ahead and pull the NBG12, and then I'll just go outside immediately after pulling it.
You see, the thing is, I'm not really one of those guys who ever like made paper file. Like I made snap circuit stuff because that's what I had and it worked. And apparently it blew up on YouTube when I first posted about it. But like, I'm not the kid who like made paper fire alarms or anything. Like I got a Gentex Commander pretty early on in that BG12. Powered it with batteries, and that was my fire alarm setup for a while. Then I got more. But yeah. At some point I would love to get a panel and set up a whole system like around my room. Like fire alarm 9200 style when he was set up a system in his bedroom with the 4005. But it would be loud and it would be very temporary because I'm not living at home for too much longer, and it would just be wouldn't be necessary, and it would be my family probably wouldn't approve. So I won't do it, but I would love to do that. Of course, I'd love to do a whole house system even more like what this guy in New Age Server Alarm were doing, but no way I'm doing that. Because I'm going to be living with somebody no matter what.
Push in, pull down. Put the shoes on.
Didn't know how snap circuits work at the time. Oh wait, I'm just looking back. I'm just getting a bunch of comments now. AC alarms, rockets, like the only thing you collect. Yeah, I saw a lot of those videos of you unboxing a bunch of AC alarms. I just happened to click on System Test 28. That happened to be AC devices, and this is just all 4050s. And half of them sound terrible.
So we'll see how trippy this looks from out here.
Crashed out from no SCR. That's real. You know what? There is actually another way you can make one using components. That was what that. Remember that one video I posted of that little that crappy 5000. That was actually based off of an SCR made by hand using transistors, resistors, and capacitors. It's a project. I think it's called Stuck on Light in the original Snap Circuits Lite, not the newer one where they changed the projects around, but in the original one. I don't remember which project it's called. 45s just kind of sound really bad most of the time unless you fix them. I mean, I suppose I haven't heard any in person or seen any, but I suppose that sounds true. There's a massive hole in your wall. Oh boy. Okay then.
You can't really see it from out front, or honestly hear it all that well from out front. The best vantage point to see this is from out this window here, as you can see, which is really funny because you can't really see it, but my neighbor's house, like the only neighbor I have that can actually probably see it, can see it pretty well.
Interesting.
Anyway, so
Okay, this is kind of related to this. If it's possible, I want to try and fix my Piano 39219. It's just really old and raspy. Like, I think I posted a short of me sounding at one point, and it's just really, really raspy. And if I run it on the higher, it won't run on lower voltages. Like, on the lower end of its voltage that it's capable of running on, it doesn't work. You have to give it at least 24 volts, if not more, up to like, what, 31 volts is the maximum it'll take or something like that. Then it will work. But even so, it still sounds really bad. And I wish there was a way I could fix it, but I don't know how to. I don't know. Maybe I should just figure something out. I don't know. I tried. If you know anything, then please tell me.
Here's the back door. You can see the red light from out here. Not really all that loud out here, actually. Surprisingly enough.
Probably because he has all the volume
Except
screws
down
turned
here,
down.
It's pretty audible down here. But even then, the thing about the 4050 is that it follows the same logic as the 4051, which is that if you tighten the volume screw all the way on it, it actually becomes the quietest alarm in your collection.
Right. See, that's a good sounding 4050.
That's that. Back inside we go. Go reset that.
Why is it just a random tripod on this front porch? That's a terrible sounding 4050. Back to normal sounding. Man, that one still sounds odd. It's a different kind of weird. Oh my goodness, why is this basement door a sliding door?
Listen to this. You can hear these relays clicking really loud. It's pretty cool. I really like that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it.
Do 90 beats per minute.
I'm gonna put it in continuous now.
No.
Of course, everyone's favorite. And I'm gonna go pull the RSGT bar so that I can get through the system in continuous in one swift motion. And then I'll say a few things and that'll be it for the video.
Okay. This is your typical 4050 system right here. Man, 60 hertz continuous really does. That really does sound scary. Andrew was right. The little tiny LS1M. See, when he runs that horn continuously, it sounds fine, but I can hear it right on the edge of sounding terrible. It like wants to start getting raspy, but it doesn't. Yeah, 4050s do just kind of sound weird. What do you do when your younger cousin keeps yapping for a $2,000 fire alarm control panel? Learn to live without it. I made a fire alarm panel out of snap circuits, and I want to get something. I want to get like a Firelight MS10UD or something, but they're like $500 on eBay for literally anything at all, even one that doesn't work. So I gave up. I want to eat a 4050. I'm sure the metal is delicious. You have a quick question? Ask away.
Surprisingly, not that loud because of the quirk that they have with the volume screw.
Yeah, great.
Go ahead and reset that. And then I think that's accurate.
Can I measure the 3-port siren? In terms of dimensions, like the rotor is like 8 inches wide. In terms of decibel rating, I have absolutely no clue, and I don't have it with me. Because I'm not home right now. And even if I was home right now, I would need a little bit. I would need some time because the rotor has started scraping on the bottom of the stator, so I need to reapply. I literally just put a line of tape on the motor shaft to keep the rotor from going any lower. Shows you how thrown together that siren really is. But it doesn't project very far. I posted some videos when I took it out to a field in town where no one was around. It set it off with the battery bank, and it was windy, for granted, but the sound dies off pretty quickly. So the rotor, yeah, it's 8 inches across, exactly, and then I don't remember. It's like maybe 3 inches deep, like tall. I don't remember. But I can say for certain that that rotor is too big for that motor. I made the siren as large as I possibly could and fit it on my print bed, and that was a mistake because the motor I have is undersized for it. Even though I'm using, well, it's an Osung motor, but it's rotor's like the size of the MS490. And what is, okay, so I don't know. It's not the same size as the 490 rotor. The 490 rotor is probably 4 or 5 inches across. In terms of the entire siren, possibly. I did do a volume battle of the two, so you can check that out if you want to see the two side by side. What's my smallest siren? It's got to be that 1012 3-inch bench grinder siren that I set off on October 12th this year when I posted that video. That's my smallest siren. The rotors are only like 3 inches in diameter, and the tolerances are pretty bad, so it's not very quiet. Craving Gentex Commanders with mayo sounds delicious. I haven't tried mine yet because I like it and I want to still have it. I don't want to digest it.
Actually it for system test 28.
Oh.
I know it might have been a little bit shorter just because that's kind of how it is when all the alarms are actually the same alarm. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm very pleased with the system and how it turned out. So, a number of things to note here, and hopefully I remember everything. This 4050 over by the front door here sounds awful, and that's because I don't really know what happened, but the mechanism for the horn got separated from the diaphragm, so it's not really hitting it in a thorough fashion. I have not put the i3 up anywhere yet. I might put it in the basement because realistically, a smoke detector anywhere in this upstairs part below the very top of the ceiling, I feel like wouldn't exactly be very effective. And I still have...
Okay, I really want the VXS 1488 AR. It would have very populated ton, so I don't want to get in trouble for noise complaints. Yeah, that's a huge thing for me, is even with that 490, I am very scared to do any sirens outside anytime except for New Year's and like Halloween, like at the beginning and end of trick-or-treating. But that's basically it. Oh, and during siren tests when my county is testing, but even then I'm reluctant to. Haven't done it in a very long time, and I usually do it in a different location now, which is not inside my neighborhood. Let's see. Then another thing is the 1488 AR is just a weird siren if you want to think of the way it fits into the motor siren series. Like the 1450 is the same as the 590. I don't actually remember all of the models in the Vixen Horns versions, but you know, the next size down is akin to the 490. There's no version that's the 790, I'm pretty sure, but the 1488 is like an almost like an MS 690, except it's really high pitched because it's higher port ratio. 1450 is like a half size 790. Yeah, it's like a 590. They're the same model basically, or they're the same siren. The 1450 is a 590. Closest cheapest thing to a Carter, I suppose. It's not dual tone, which is, You could probably 3D print a rotor, but you would need to modify the stator. And it's small, or smaller. 1450R is small too, but yeah. Well, honestly though, I can say for certain that they're much bigger in person than they look, like on video. Like I bought a 490 thinking it was going to be like, oh, I don't know, smaller than it was. And then it was when I bought the 490, it was the size that I expected the 590 to be. So, and it's still very loud. Which again is why I'm hesitant to do sirens outside, being in a residential neighborhood and everything. Oh, hold on. Okay, anyways. 1450 hours smaller too. Yeah, you probably just tape one end. I've done that. Maybe 124 decibel rating is loud. It's true, though it also depends on what distance they measure that from. And usually on those motor sirens, those smaller factory sirens, they don't even specify the distance and then just give it a ridiculous number. Like, what is it? The MS 790 gets like 190 decibel rating or something. When, like, not even the Chrysler can get that loud at 10 feet. So yeah. Tested your Q-Tac outside. It's not the loudest, but it's audible. Yeah, I have a VXS 9050C, and they are tiny. I don't remember which model that is. 9050, not 5090. I don't remember which model is which. Yeah, that's an MS 190, basically. Know how to kind of make voice of app with snap circuits. That's pretty cool. I thought about doing it, but the only way possible would be to use the recorder module, and some weird timer circuit. So yeah, that's an MS 190 right there. And then, I'm just gonna go to Vixen Horn's website and start scrolling. Because why not? So, what? No. Come on. I don't care about train horns. Sirens in PA. I don't. No, I'm just gonna click. Also, my dad came in a minute ago, so he wants me to go to bed soon, so I might have to. Here, so this is the 790 right here, the 2245 AR, and then that's a 290, the 4006C, I guess. That's like a Lion King thing. That's like one of those Lion King sirens that they just stuck a motor on. Oh, what's the chat say? I like the siren spin ups because the way they have that 10 hertz tone is just perfect. Alright. I suppose I could do more hand spin ups, but there's only so much I can do. I already did the one when I first built that siren, and every hand spin up after that's pretty much the same. Let's see, these things are. I keep thinking that Lion King is the first company that makes these kinds of sirens. Not like these crank sirens. even though it's definitely not. It resells the cheap versions. But yeah, these are those larger crank sirens. This is like half of a 490 right here. 2000 MTP. Let me see. Here, let me just control F on. No. This one, yep. So that's one of the smaller crank sirens. I have the cheap generic version of this one, of the VXS 1000. It's the one I have on a tripod. Yeah, this one. I think that's actually one of the smallest crank sirens that they offer. So then I guess the next size up would be this thing, which is the, there are a million different sellers for these. And then there's these ones, which are, I think I've seen videos of these, and the gear ratio for these is way too low because you have to crank the handles stupid fast to get it to any decent pitch. What's the chat say? It's loud though. I don't know how to connect it to a panel like that. Yeah, yours is pretty big. All right. I don't really know. I haven't seen this and one of these side by side. The rotor on this is probably maybe like 7, maybe 8 inches. And then like here's your 590 and 490. So yeah, the 1450 AR is like your MS 590. The 1050 AR is like your MS 490. So I have like one of these. And you can see they actually use the same stand. So that's a good size comparison. If this is as big as you expect this is, and then if you use that stand size and compare it, like that's actually really large. Oh, it's like 9 inches across. Wow. That's surprising. Oh, cool. So now I know. I thought about getting another one of these because the one that I have is like the cheapest one that Amazon offered, and I could tell it was the cheapest one for a reason, because the little details like the crank mechanism is just a hole straight up drilled through this, and also it has terrible like bearings. The clutch on the inside of this one looks like it's metal, and mine is like plastic, and I had to like bend and I had to put a nail through it and get rid of the wire. Like mine is just cheap, and you can't crank it very fast because the gearbox is terrible. So I think these name brand ones are much better. And there's also the plastic one, which is interesting. I'm sure that's probably lightweight. So yeah. And then here, I'll go into the Lion King website as well. Not 3D printing. Companies. Did I not save it? I guess I didn't. Lion King signals. No, not signs. Signals. Yeah, it is an old website. Firesiren.com. Oh boy. It's okay. It's not terrible. So, definitely a non-US company though. So there's your Lion King is known for its rebrand. So like look, there's your Model 2 knockoff, there's your 3T22 knockoff. Somewhere down here they have a 2001 rebrand. There's your Model L knockoff. And look, there's the same siren. There's one of the same sirens. Again. There's your 590 knockoff. There's your 490 knockoff. I have a couple original ones that I haven't seen anywhere else, but maybe these are knockoffs as well. Look, there's that one. The FX 200. It's the same siren. There's your knockoff. There's your crank siren, but this is the one with the stand, so that's why it's LK100A. The LK100 with nothing after that is the standard one where it's got the folding handle. Oh, your friend has the yellow one? Let me go back and figure out which one you're talking about. Oh. Load the next page anyways. Look, there's your STH10 knockoff. And there's your 1488 AR. You can see it's like a 590, but it has more ports. And I think it was Palmer Divide Sirens who did a video of the 1450 and the 1488 together, and the 1488 is larger than the 590. That's why I like to call it an MS690. Even though there isn't an MS690, but that's what it would be. The TT22 copy thing is 1011. Oh my goodness, that's going to be horrendous sounding. Oh, and here's another STH10 knockoff. They have a 3-phase knockoff and a single-phase knockoff. And the single-phase one, I'm pretty sure is just one of their other, like one of these sirens, but with horns on it. Call it a new siren. So weird. Yeah, see, no, like here's your LK100. Here's the LK100P for the plastic one. This one has the, like, table clamp. Here's your one that the LK120, the really large one. So yeah, Lion King really does just rebrand. Assuming that Vixen Horns is the original manufacturer of these sirens, Lion King just does a bunch of rebrands. Though it's you can see that they rebrand and remake other stuff too. Assuming that Lion King is the original manufacturer, then no, I can't, because that's just not true. But I've also seen them as just MS490 and MS590, like whatever company makes them under the model motor siren X90, that I like to think that that's the original. This one here, this white one looks like an Eric. Kind of. It's like that's the stator. It's just that's an intake, that's the motor, that's the stator with the rotor inside, and then that's a rain shield. It's pretty simple. Kind of like, you know what? That reminds me of like an E57. Where the top of the rotor, like the intake and the motor are together. And then you just have a rain shield on top. It's kind of like an E57. And then Lion King has a bajillion of these. Like, here's one where it's just two slapped together on one motor. And then the previous page, it had a bunch more. Like, there's another one. It's a different model, but it's very similar. This is the one you said your friend had? One of these? I don't remember which one. One of them is smaller than the other. I think that's the only difference. It's got a smaller base. See, that's the JDL D400. The other was just the JDL 400. What about first page? No, not that one. Okay. Looks like an interesting siren. I wonder how big that is. This one? That looks like a really small siren. It's like yellow with a red rotor. Yeah, that would probably be this. Yep. It looks like a small siren. And considering that gap there, I'm gonna guess that it looks very thrown together. Hold on a second. No, it's the door opening itself because the window is open. Give me a sec. There we go. Like 118 decibels. Is that like just at some random distance, or is that up close? Like 7 inches. Alright. Yeah. This reminds me of that one video where someone made a siren with like a drone motor. Like, which was that? Like, I go on YouTube and just search like mini air raid siren, and then that'll probably pop up. You'll see what I'm talking about. Honestly, if Just give me a sec. I'll finish that thought once I type this in. Let's just see if it even comes up. Linear and exploded. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That looks really cheap. No. Some, you see these DIY videos like that stuff. Not that one. Stuff like that. Stuff like that, where it's people who aren't actually siren enthusiasts, but they're just making stuff because they're like a maker channel. Oh, hey, look, it's my video. 102,000 views? Are you kidding me? That's like my least effort short that I've made. This one. Tell me that there's not a resemblance between... some sort of resemblance between that and then this video. This is like... shut up. Here. Like, it reminds me of this. Does it not? Same rotor, just different casing. Real. I feel like if this, you know how the Siren Archives made like a roasting sirens video where he like, it was like that look at this dude meme, but then he used it with sirens and things they look like. If he did this, I would totally use this picture. Or like if there was a front view or something like that. Like that's like the, like totally use that and then that. Like that's what, come on, tell me that's not 1-to-1. I love it. Somebody like send it to him or like add him in the description or whatever. Somebody do this. Maybe once I save this stream, once it's over, I'll add him in the description. Anyways, there we go. And I actually did include all of these ridiculous siren models. Probably same inside copycats. So here's something. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but I've contributed on the siren forums a little bit. Where is it? And I made a post where I tried to compile a list of every single siren model in existence. And I did a decent job. The list currently has, I think, 800 or 900 models listed. What is it? Look, there's my old profile picture. 892 models. So it's just this really long list of models. I did this over years, by the way. So included in this ridiculous list, after all the big sirens, is a separate list of smaller sirens that starts with the Federal Signal models, and then eventually gets into, so then it does Federal Electric, then Century, then Sterling, then Darley, and then you got your motor sirens, so your 190, 290, 390, 490, 590, 790, and then it gets into Lion King, so that's the small crank siren, that's larger crank siren, the FX200, which is the one on the tripod, and then these, which are like those smaller weird factory siren things that had like, the ones that had like that weird gold hat, and then there were variants that were like horizontal. So that's all these. And then some more of these. I forgot to, I put the larger ones. If I search up, so the larger ones I put up in the big sirens, like the one you said looks like an Eric. So those are up here. Like literally, it just says STH10A, STH10B, and then STH21-2. So yeah, that is 1011 port. That's got to be horrendous sounding. So anyways, but the smaller ones I put down here in the smaller siren list. So I wonder what an MS690 would look like. Well, I already said this, but I like to think that if I scroll down to vixen horns, here you go. So you have the smaller ones. These are a bunch of models, but like starting here, the VXS 1050 AR is like your MS 490. The 1450 AR is like your MS 590. The 2245 AR is like your 790, so I like to think that the 1488 AR is a 690. I'm gonna have to go to bed. Alright, that's fine. I need to as well. It's late. And I'm just screwing around on YouTube, but that's how I like to think of the Vixen Horns sirens. I like to fit them into the motor siren series, like the MS. That's what MS stands for, motor siren. So I like to fit that into those models. And so I like to think of 1488 as MS 690. So there you go. When will we be live again? Whenever I feel like it. That's when I do these things. There's no schedule in the slightest. Like a bunch of other weird ones, and then just a random IMI AL1578 at the bottom, because of course. Why not? Maybe Saturday. I'm gonna be here still until Saturday. I might do this. I don't know when I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna be driving back Saturday night, so I don't know when I'll do this again. I might if I want to make a big deal out of hold on. Okay, I gotta finish up, but well, I might do this again tomorrow. I'm not sure. So, I gotta go. See you guys.